everybody to Meadows Bee Farm. Today we're going to demonstrate how we make pate. So we begin by onions. We'll be caramelizing onions at a low temperature while we talk. There they go. Onions are here, chopped kind of country style. Now we'll come over here and we'll start to slice up the liver. In our pate, we like to use liver, we like to use some kidneys, different organs. The benefits of this, you may all know, but liver is full of vitamin A and full of vitamin D. It's one of the most nutritious foods that you can eat. If you want a nutrient-dense diet, you always have to begin with your liver. We will add kidneys, we'll add heart, and any other organs that we can find that we got from the cow, from our butchering we did last week. So here we have some rough cut liver, which we will, I think I'll cut this a little more. We'll put together in a bowl. We like to brown it on kind of a high heat, and then we'll in the end grind everything up so it's a delicious, delicious pate. Really one-to-one with sauteed onions. So we saute the onions to caramelize them and bring out the sugars. Add the liver. Then we'll get the heart. Okay, liver's done. Chop away. Today I'd like to introduce our good friend and neighbor, part of our community, Betsy. She comes and helps on the farm in almost all aspects. And today as we make the beef pate, she's helping chop all the onions. So let me introduce Betsy and I'll ask her a few questions. Hi Betsy, how are you today?
Leigh. I'm good and I don't have a tear in my eye.
Why is that anyway? That's so odd.
I don't know, but maybe it's genetic, do you suppose?
I don't know. It's really odd. You're the first person. So Betsy, what is it that you like to do here on the farm?
I like to dabble in everything. And you ask me to fill in when you need me. And I love that because I can fit you into my schedule when it works for me.
Now, many people have difficulty in thinking about liver. It hasn't been that traditional in the American diet. So I came up with this recipe of pate because when you eat anything with caramelized onions and spread it on a cracker, it is going to taste great. I have turned many, many people on to pate, and when the neighbors find out I'm making it, basically they line up hoping that they might get a taste of it. So I really think a key is not to overcook your liver. It has more nutrients and it tastes a lot better. I've come up with many different ways to eat it. If you're feeding it to children, you can just slip it into a hamburger because you can't taste it. And if anything, it improves the flavor. If you're serving it to an adult, you can make some handmade crackers and put that on. Put maybe a dried tomato on top of it or a little bit of cheese. There are all kinds of things you can do. And people that have never been comfortable eating liver will beg you to give them a little bit to take home. I like it. So here we have the liver. It's in the pan. You can see the bright color of it. It really should be a nice red color. You'll see some little dots in here, and that's where the vessels were. This is a very healthy liver from a very healthy cow. I will continue to cook, and then I'll continue to cut more liver. We usually use the livers from a few cows when I make my pate. Also, because I have other things to do and I don't want to be here all day, I will at the same time continue to saute the onions. I haven't added in any salt yet, but I will do that a little bit later. I want to not forget that. So we browned on one side, and now I'm going to flip this over. I find tongs really makes it a lot easier to do. I'll put it in this bowl. And you can see it's still quite rare on the inside. I will then add more. Here we have the onions and the liver. We will let it cool, add salt, and then we'll put it through the Roboku, which we'll be showing you. After that, we'll pipe it into the jars. So we're about halfway done. It's really important that I keep track of everything I do on this farm. So here, I'm writing down the ingredients. I had 4 beef livers, 1 heart. I have 2 kidneys, because there are 2 kidneys in a cow. Butter, I'm using about, I'd say 6 cups of butter. And I'll use about 2 tablespoons of salt. If it's different, I will come back and change that. As a farmer, it's really important that I use all parts of my cow. And since I raised and culled this cow on this farm, I really try to see how much of the cow we can utilize. We use the bones for bone broth. We use all of the organs for things like pate. And then we'll use the meat. We'll cut it into steaks and hamburgers. Everything left over will go to pets, our dogs. There'll be very, very little waste. It's a terrific thing to have the honor to raise and cull a cow and then be able to process the entire thing. It's a way for us to augment the other food that we grow, the peaches and the blueberries and the corn and all the lettuce and the annuals. I really don't know how I could grow my own food if it didn't include animals. So I recommend, if you want to grow your own food, you consider looking into what kind of animals you could raise for that, how nicely you can raise them, how generous you can be, and how much food you can get for your farm. I'm really proud to be doing this. I'm very happy to be doing this, and it's a lesson. We've made the pate and chilled it. I've now put it into a plastic bag that I will pour into this jar. Every jar has been cleaned and labeled. I really find this is one of the easiest ways to not make a big mess. Pate can be very messy, and I've done it every way. It turned out I made 4 gallons of pate. It had in the liver, the kidney, the heart, lots of onions, lots of butter, and some C90 salt. So where did I learn all this? I really learned it all from Nourishing Traditions. This is a cookbook written by Sally Fallon, and I've been following this for about 20 years. My goal is to nourish myself. And I don't really take supplements and I don't take vitamins. I take liver. Pate, well, I call it liver, but it's really pate because it has all the organs I can get. This is one way I get all my B vitamins, my vitamin C, my niacin. The list is huge. Let's see, I have a list here. It's A, B1, B2, B12, folate, vitamin C, magnesium, niacin, pantothenic acid. I find that the more liver I eat, really the healthier I am. I'm able to withstand all kinds of illnesses. I'm able to work extraordinary long hours year after year. I'm happy. I have very few health problems. I am now eating liver raw, and that is a totally new experience. The raw liver, I do freeze it first and put a little bit of vitamin, I like to put lemon on it, and maybe a tiny bit of garlic or olive oil. But that I'm finding is really helping me with some of my own personal health issues. So if I could encourage people to try to go out and see if they can have a little bit more nutrient-dense food. Now, there is one caveat. You do need to make sure you know your farmer. Because if the liver is not organic and is not if the cow didn't have really good nutrients, then the liver will not have good nutrients in it. And you do want to freeze it because you want to get away from parasites. So I do freeze it first, then I cook it, and I think it's probably my favorite vitamin and my best food. So I try to eat it maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Stay on this channel. We will show you other ways to get really nutritious food so that you can join us as we figure out how can we be healthy. I mean, winter's coming and we need to prepare so that we have all our vitamins and nutrients when the snow falls. Here we have another case of Meadows Bee Farm Pate ready for the freezer. Thank you for joining our YouTube channel. Please check back again next week as we go into the apple orchards. Thank you.